Greetings, this is Michael W. Ford. Last week's video was a video on Vampyre Magick, and there were unfortunately some sound sync issues with the video itself, so I am redoing this video, and I'll try to ensure there are no issues this time. First, I want to say that in Luciferianism, majority of the videos on my channel are focused on the philosophy and basic magical practices of Luciferian magic and associated disciplines within the ever-changing tradition. There's one specific avenue which I normally don't do videos on because this one is albeit darker and focused on what we call the Nightside, or the shadow side, and is a deeper application of magical principles towards a type of black alchemy or alchemical change, focused on what I call Vampyre Magick. Now, Vampyre Magick is not blood drinking or any things like that, and is not illegal activity. It is all within Luciferianism, is centered around the focus of the mind and sharpening and expanding one's discipline and focus using aromatic yoga and different techniques of ceremonial magic. Now, the basis of Vampyre Magick from my works Akaru and Sekama-Pep, subtitled Typhonian Vampyre Magick, are the foundations for what was and is the Black Order of the Dragon, founded by myself and a few other Vampyre Magick initiates in the early 90s, 93 and 94. This is when it really started. And prior to that, my initiation was in the Temple of the Vampire, which obviously my initiatory focus became different and went into different areas of vampirism. So thus, this is not tied to that group. And the Temple of the Vampire had a fantastic initiatory experience over those years into the 2000s, and I appreciate that initiation. But Vampyre Magick is based around the concept of qi, or chi. It's the blood and the breath, and associated with the energy. Now, qi, or chi, is described as being the vital energy within each living being. And the ancient Chinese considered this vital energy to be deeply aligned and associated with our individual bodies, physical bodies, which, with willpower and discipline, the Black Adept or Vampyre Magician is able to maintain, cleanse, and strengthen his or her energy. Now, this concept of blood current, or chi, or organ energy, or life force, it's a subtle power for the vampiric Black Adept. And this energy is drained or consumed on various levels by a combination of dream projection and physical contact. And meditation is the key, along with discipline, towards aligning one's and developing one's, as in Luciferianism, body of light and also the body of shadow. Now, Vampyre Magick is not for every Luciferian. It's for a very select few that have an intuitive or self-directed predilection for that type of practice. So majority of Luciferians probably won't be too deeply into the practice of vampire magic. However, those aligned with that will find it a very impactful and dangerous, but also empowering work. The aim of the vampire black adept or magician is the concept and discipline of strengthening and enhancing one's psyche, crystallizing an aspect. Left-hand path aims are all focused on that in one way or another, but also utilizing aspects or what we know of quantum mechanics in a way that we can direct and change energy according to our will. And there are other levels into that. While Sekemapep and Akaru are the main key books, grimoires, for the vampire current as it is, the Black Order of the Dragon, many of my grimoires, published grimoires on Luciferianism, have layers of knowledge, meaning, cipher, symbol, that almost in many ways, especially until a few years recently, a subconscious layering I put forth in the way to instruct those who are prepared to receive that gnosis, or that gateway to that gnosis. And that is based on what you can read it, but if you don't are not attained to that level, you won't understand the next or what you're overlooking. So one thing says one thing, there's also a layer underneath that. There are many aspects in vampirism that are focused on that energy, and many of my grimoires, such as Sabeti, Mask Mahul, Fallen Angels, Watchers in the Witch's Sabbat, Liber HVHI, the Bible, the Adversary, even Necrominion, Egyptian Satanic Magic. These grimoires all have vampirism and practices that can be aligned and explored in that vein, if you will, without even looking deeper into that. Whispers of the Jinn. Also, of course, Lilith and Lamashtu grimoire. All of these have aspects for those who know how to look in that. Vampirism is based around, first, that you must seek to align and first by acknowledging and attaining awareness of your daemon, crystallizing and uniting the daemon, your intuition and your psyche, your crystallized aspect of your psyche, to merge like the Egyptian Ka, Ba, and into the Ak, the deification, if you will. The aim is liberation of the spirit from the physical body. Is this possible? Can I tell you definitively with proof? No. Nor am I claiming or insinuating that you should believe. Test everything, validate everything. But these methods on a very mundane level build discipline, strength of will, focus of mind, and the perspective of the world around you. And there's a key to that from Gnostic Samael or Yaltabroth, which is, you are the only God, which is. Doesn't mean there aren't greater and better things out there beyond you, and we're very small when compared to the macrocosm. But as a microcosm, we're responsible for our direction in life, our path, and primarily as a majority of what is achieved or not achieved, barring accident and all those things that go into that. Vampire Magick first focuses on, and when entering the ritual chamber, suspending disbelief. But when you're out of the ritual chamber, you don't discuss vampire magic with the non-initiated or try to explain the practices or philosophy of that. because as a Luciferian, you want to lead by example, and you don't want to appear just wacky or crazy to those who are not initiated. So if you're speaking of Luciferianism, focus on the philosophy and the basis of magical practice, but beyond that, it's best not to do such. In Vampyre Magick, the disciplines are based on draining energy, and that's by touch, by sight, by like a connection to an object that another's hold, that you can drain in using methods of discipline and focus. This is key towards attaining and draining energy, and once this energy is consumed, you're able to transform it and direct it outward or enhance your magical practices. And some of these are based in dream, and some of these are based on Nightside workings and meditative guided workings, building the body of shadow, the Astral double. And with that really said, the focus of Vampyre Magick is utilizing ritual and looking at things as in the harmony of this world, which is cause and effect, but also predator and prey, nature itself. So knowing that, you're going to, as I have, open this current of empathy and understanding, which allows you to make guided, focused choices that are more appropriate. So, Akaru, Sekemapep are excellent introductions for Vampyre Magick, and I recommend these. Also, we have numerous Vampyre Magick tools available at luciferianapotheca.com, and I encourage you, those who are interested, and go beyond the symbol and the almost gothic allure towards the meaning underneath the initiatory current, the cup of the chalice of Varcolaci that's offered. And the symbol of the Varcolaci, by the way, the two undead with the wings of the bat or dragon holding the inverted pentagram, is a symbol that's been consecrated and offered to with astral energy since the 90s, and is a gateway to the Varcolaci, or the vampiric astral spirits who are adepts, living and beyond. So that symbol is a gateway. It's more than just something in some of my albums or books. It's a gateway within the Black Order of the Dragon, and is deeply associated with Lilith, Tiamat, Lamashtu, and the vampiric current in general. There are other keys of and steps of the practice of Vampyre Magick, vampirism, as the drawing and centered around Qi or Qi, life force energy, all that which is begotten by our brains and our physical bodies, our minds. Those who have established the structure and method of absorbing Qi can, over time, after a period of this being structured and advanced, may utilize ritual magic or ritual vampirism. And this is really outlined in my work, Akaru, as well as Sekemapep, but utilizing a black mirror or a regular mirror. And the mirror is symbolic of Lilith, and one may utilize the ceremony of calling the Varcolaci, projecting the astral body through the black mirror. and going forth in a meditative state. Once you do this several times, you may then go back and utilize it prior to sleep in a dreaming sense. Aramanic yoga, mastering aspects of the Kundalini, the fire serpent, all related to the left-hand path, the Vampyre Magick, or the Shakti, the demonic feminine. One may visualize one's body of shadow, astral body, in the form that he or she wishes, and then projecting outward to feed on the etheric energy of sleepers or others. Now, commonly, the world of flesh is the physical world. This is cause and effect daily, everything that we do. You have the astral plane. Think of it slightly above the material world, or hidden from our everyday sight. But we may project on the astral plane and control aspects in the dream. This is deeply associated with us. It's what is called the imaginal. And then you have the spiritual plane, which is also the celestial, which is of which the advanced vampire black adepts may project and reach into. Now, remember that something can reach back, but in mastering the techniques early on of vampiric practice in a daily activity, daily life, this can prove useful. Now, the Varcolaci, it goes back to Eastern European mythology and folklore of something, a type of spiritual astral vampire that takes the form of dragon or wolves or something like that, that has an astral thread that drinks from the blood of the moon. Now, in Slavic vampire mythology, prior to Judeo-Christian conversion, some Slavs are reported to have worshipped and made offerings to vampires that were connected with bodies of water or the clouds or droughts, and honored vampires in such a way. Now, the Hollywood mythology and the folklore of horror is but a symbol, and the Luciferian or vampire magician can't separate the two. And metaphor and symbol all have underlining meaning within those who practice vampire magic. The dragon being a key symbol of this, and the mastery of pranayama, breathing and absorbing energy. The aim of this is the immersion of power, the immersion of directable energy that can be transformed and directed accordingly. Just like the Varcolaci Sigil is a gateway, it's a black mirror in itself. It's something that energy is offered to, but then energy is attained from or gained from, like a mirror, a two-way mirror, in which there's feeding and also entry, but also offering. These are key aspects of vampire magic. Now, the Citra can be worked in the same way via Luciferian magic, but then approach it accordingly through the vampiric lens. Anyway, I hope this has proved interesting to you, and until then, the next time.